Yeah, good. First of all, I have to ask you, maybe some of you attended the Crime Festival last year also. You did?
Yeah.
And then you said that your husband liked Oslo so much that you might be buying an apartment.
Yeah.
Have you?
That was before I saw how much they cost.
Okay, that's a good excuse.
But who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
You could write a crime novel from Oslo, though.
I would really like to go work on an oil rig. I'm an engineer. I might drop by one of these work offices.
But do you want to work as an engineer, or do you want to go there to write a crime novel?
Both.
Both, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. We're going to talk about your book, De Uønskede,
Yes.
in Norwegian. You've actually said that the Norwegian title is more accurate than the original.
Yeah, it is. It is. The original title in Icelandic was Kuldi, which means the cold, and was supposed to sort of reference the characters that have quite a cold soul. But it's much. It really applies quite well to the story because it's about, in part, people who are somehow not particularly wanted in a way.
We're going to talk about the plot, but before we do that, once again you've written a standalone, which
Yes.
means that there's new characters. It's not about Thora, you might know from the series. Why?
I've written 6 books in the Thor series. When I started writing, I wrote for children, and I wrote 5 books. Then I moved, and I got very tired of that, so I went and wrote the crime series, which was the first 5 books, and then I realized I can't do this anymore, and I wrote a ghost story. Then I wrote a Thor book, and now I'm standalone. So it's just, after many books, you need like a little break because when you write a series about a recurring character, it's quite hard to find situations and scenarios that make this character interesting without being ridiculous. So I needed a little break. She's not completely gone, but she's on an extended holiday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you know from the start that it's going to be a standalone?
Yes, I do, yes.
So you never fall in love with any of the characters and decide to keep them going?
The more it would be, if I would fall in love with a character, I would, in a standalone, I would make sure to kill this character off really badly, so there's no chance of me coming back.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. I talked with Jonathan a little bit about it. How do you create your characters?
Most of I try not to base them on specific people because it's a bit unfair, I think.
To the characters
Yeah,
or to the people?
To the people, because Iceland is so small, and you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings by. Nobody really wants to be a character in a crime novel because it's just, not happy things are not sort of happening to these characters. So, but when you build a character, and I think this applies to all authors of all genres, that you build these characters on a database of people that you met through your life, and you take maybe a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, and you try to make them into like a credible whole. And that's sort of how I do it.
And you've done this before also, but it's still quite unusual in crime novels. None of your main characters are in the police.
No, yeah, I might now that I'm traveling with Jonathan with our police, because he said, I will help you with the police stuff if you ever want to have a police character. But there is actually a book that just came out now in December. There was a policewoman who was not doing, it's not police procedural, but there is a policewoman for the first time.
But is there a reason why you
Well,
kept
I
going?
think because partly, actually, what Jonathan was saying, I've never been in the police. I don't know anything about the police, and when I do, you like to have it correct. And when I started writing, also all of the other crime writers were writing about police, and they were doing it quite fine. And I thought I would take it different. His ex-wife dies in an accident, and so he all of a sudden has his daughter to take care of. And at the same time, he changes his job to get a more relaxing job, and he's investigating. We have these, we had a very big media issue in Iceland recently about homes that were operated in the 60s and the 70s, where they would send children that they considered living in bad conditions, or if they were juvenile delinquents, they would take the children, send them to sort of homes in the countryside. And although this was meant to be good for the children, it turned out that this was absolutely the worst thing, that their lives all took a very bad turn for them. Because they were not only, some of them were badly treated by the grown-ups that were in charge, but a lot of them were badly treated also by the other children. And it was a mistake. And so and there was an investigation into these homes, and in my book he is one of the people investigating one home.
Yes, this brings us to the plot, because your book takes place now,
Yeah.
with Odin investigating, and in the 70s,
Yes.
in one of these
One
homes.
of these homes. There, the main character is Altis. He was a young girl working in such a home, and she begins to realize that something is strange is going on there, and so you follow his investigation into the events that she is actually living through. And there are two little boys who die there, and or young boys. So that's his investigation, and she is actually living the events.
When you implement things that have actually happened, and the media has been writing a lot about it, what kind of reactions do you get in Iceland?
I did not get any, because I made up a home. So it's not an actual home, but it's based on sort of these other homes. So I did get quite positive feedback from some of the people who had been in these homes. And they sent me like on Facebook thanking me and so on. Because it's, for a very long time, these people had to somewhat deal with this problem themselves. And it turns out that the average life expectancy of the children that were staying in these homes is 20 years lower than the average, because they went into drinking and so on. So it was really meant to be good, but like many of the things people do, you think you're doing the correct thing, and you're absolutely doing the worst thing you can imagine.
Is it important to you as a writer to actually use things that should be more talked about in the society?
Yes, it is. It's I think like writing crime fiction, especially from a country that's so peaceful, like Iceland, we have like, I don't know, 1.5 murder per year. So you're already stretching sort of the credibility of the text, and asking the reader to sort of step a little bit away from reality. But it's very important to have everything else very believable, and the characters have to be like real people, and you also need some sort of anchor into the real society, and a very good way of doing that.
I'm curious, did you know all along how the book would end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I know the beginning, and I always know the beginning, and I know the end, and I think I know how I'm going to go from the beginning to the end. But sometimes that takes turns, and I try to sort of, on the way, throw in things that make my life as a writer much more difficult. Put something in that I have no idea how I'm going to work out. And it makes the writing more fun, and it makes the reading more enjoyable as well.
And this book is called De uønskede i norsk, also den ligger her borte, so you were signing as well.
Yes.
But I'm not going to let you go just yet, because you already mentioned a new book.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That one came out in December, and will come out in Norway next year. No, this year. Next year. Yeah.
And it's a standalone.
It's a standalone as well, yeah.
So Thora is still on vacation?
She's still on vacation, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good
She's
to know.
knocking on the door though. So
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Good to know for Thora fans. Thank you so much,
you.
Yrsa.